Welcome back to Morgan's video blog, Morgan's online blog in video format. Today I'm here to share with you adventures with writer's block. So I never thought it would happen to me. I was arrogant and short-sighted, I admit it. I thought that writer's block was censoring out bad writing, like rough drafts, or an inability to apply but to seat, or thinking you're going in the wrong direction but not knowing the right direction for your story. I didn't think that the blank page could scare me until I decided it was time for me to try something new. Now I understand. Searching for a story. For the past few weeks, I've come to the realization that it's time for me to start making something new. But what? A new story in my old world? A new world with a new story? A story in the real world? And whose story am I going to be telling? I've been rolling settings and motivations around in the back of my brain, letting ideas flow through my head without conscious attention, just enjoying the feel of the endless possibilities. And tiptoeing around the fear that I'll miss something big. The thoughts that intimidate me? Basically, all your good reporter questions. Who are my characters? What do they want? What's their goal? Who or what stands in their way? When and where is this set? Either in the real world or on the technological advancement scale in some weird world. And why? Why is this my story, and why do the characters want what they want? What made them that way? But behind even these questions is where my real fear lurks. Maybe what I've already written is better than my new world. Maybe the manuscript I'm querying is just a fluke. I know that story better than this vague inkling of an idea. Maybe I'm not ready. Maybe I never will be. Except, of course, the only way out is through. I'd contemplated and thought about my first world for years before I wrote it. This new world with its new characters and story, it's all so darn new to me. It's basically transparent. I don't know them yet. How could I even imagine telling their story? But then I remember. It took me 3 attempts to figure out my first world, to actually get past that 20,000 word mark and get the full story out of me. 3 tries before I committed and followed the story till it was long enough. And you know what happened after I finished writing the rough drafts? 131,000 words in my then brand new manuscript. After I finished and looked around is when I began to realize the theme of my story, what it had been working toward the whole time. And every draft, it becomes clearer and stronger and better plotted. The only way for me to know for sure what story is trying to come out of me is for me to write it. So now what? Well, they say every writer is different and that sometimes a writer's method will even change from story to story, but I don't have any reason to mess with what's worked for me so far, so I'm going to stick with it. My writing plan is as follows. Step 1, pick a character. Step 2, pick a setting. Step 3, do a stupidly high-level outline. Something like Chapter 1, Inciting Incident. Chapter 2, complain to a friend. Chapter 19, final battle. Chapter 20, denouement. Step 4, start at the beginning. Even if I think this is just world building and background and I will likely cut the first 2 chapters anyway, you gotta start somewhere. I may have said this before. And then just write forwards until I get stuck. And then that's when step 5 comes in handy. When I get stuck, that's the only time I ever bother looking at my outline. And either it helps or I need to rewrite the entire outline because I'm going in a different direction. So far, I've only had to tweak the outline, so hopefully it'll work again. So tell me about yourself. When you're starting a new project, what's your process? Do you just wait for a new idea to intrigue you and start writing while it's fresh? Do you plan it all out? Or do you decide to write something new and then seek out that fresh idea? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching and feel free to subscribe. I'll be back again next week with more writing tips and writerly musings. If there's something you'd like me to talk about, feel free to email me at morgan.s.hazelwood@gmail.com. See you next week, and thanks for tuning in.